both spiritual and mental well-being. Just imagine you're on 88.5 Super FM, talking, questioning, sharing your experience, information, education, entertainment, news, instructions, advice, diabetes, high blood pressure, strokes, menopause, AIDS, pregnancy, sex,
Sex? Did you say sex?
as prescribed. Take your medication, exercise, and diet. On 88.5 Super FM, tell a friend, call your neighbor. Casualty 911 is on.
Good morning, everybody. I just could not keep it. Erlan is on a roll this morning. Let me say happy Monday to one and all our listeners. I would like to say I hope that everybody had a good and safe weekend. Today we have a very, very interesting topic. On Saturday was cancer awareness. So today we want to give a little information, and we have a very, very close friend of mine giving a testimony. And I want persons to be mindful of taking care of their health and doing what they're supposed to do. I know many times we speak about it, but many of us tend to lapse. Well, cancer doesn't have a friend. Cancer doesn't have, special guests. It can happen to me. It can happen to you. It can happen to our children when we least expect. And these things happen. So the international theme for World Cancer Month is Close the Gap. And we're focusing on to prevent, screen, and manage cancer. Early detection is key. So if you go and do your pap smear, you do your breast examination, you do your prostate examination, you do your yearly test, your yearly screening, early detection is key. And if you happen to have cancer, is how well you manage it. Are you eating right? Are you doing what you're supposed to do? Are you taking your medication? And this is what we really want people to do. Let me just say, we have a few statistics as it relates to cancer in St. Lucia as of 2020. I am really, really sorry that I could not give 2021 and 2022, but I can surely give 2020. And according to the epidemiology unit, the number of females died with cancer diagnosed with cancer was 559, and the number of males was 713. Okay? So let me just say that many of us, losing a loved one to cancer is never an easy thing. And sometimes we have to be in the situation to know what it is and how family members feel, how community members feel about the situation. So I'm hoping that this year persons will go out there. The ladies go and get their breast examined, do their self-breast examination, do your pap smear if needs be. The men, don't hesitate to do your prostate examination over the age of 40, 45. Also, we're asking you, if you're smoking, we're asking you to quit smoking. And alcohol consumption, we're asking women 1 drink per day and men 2 drinks per day. So these are the habits. And don't forget, you have to exercise and eat your fruits and vegetables. I remember last year we had a show with a representative from Ministry of Agriculture, and he was saying one of the best things is to have your home garden. You understand? Plant what you eat. You understand? It's so much easier. It's more cost effective. And you know actually what you're actually eating because you're planting it yourself. Like Erlan said, the backyard gardening. Having said that, I would like to introduce a very close friend of mine. She's like a mother to me. I must admit, She is, well, I'll let her introduce herself because I know it might even be emotional for me as an individual. But let me just say this. Many times we have our loved ones, and when they're diagnosed with cancer, it hits us. We have to be strong for our loved ones, and we must also provide the love and support that they need. And I can tell you, um, we have been able to just that, and through that, she has developed the strength and the courage to go through the process. So I will allow, well, Julie.
Okay, the internet dropped. Good morning, everyone. Thanks, Miss Wilson, for inviting me on the show. My name is Priscilla Luisa. I am a retired teacher from the Riso. I am 67 years old. Should I go on, Miss Wilson?
Julie, you look really nice. Your lipstick is just the same shade as mine.
Thank you, Miss Wilson.
Go ahead, teacher Julie.
Well, I must admit, I was diagnosed with cancer in March. Actually, I was speaking to my neighbor, and in talking, I happened to touch my breast, and I observed I had a lump. So, as a joke, I told her, it looks like I have cancer, you know. So, I called my daughter, I told her, your mother has cancer. And she told me, Mommy, life and death is in the power of the tongue. Be careful what you're saying. I called a consultant. She examined my breast and she told me it might not be cancer. So she recommended a mammogram. I had a mammogram done soon afterwards. And I had a mammogram done and I was detected to have cancer. I was asked to do a biopsy. So I went to a doctor, and unfortunately I went to the wrong doctor who was recommended, and he kept procrastinating. Well, I was stage 2, and the tumor was 2 centimeters by 2.4 centimeters. But it happened that the doctor kept procrastinating. I paid for the biopsy and he never did it. So after 6 weeks thereabouts, I realized the tumor was getting bigger. So I went back to my consultant and she advised me to see an oncologist, Dr. Owen Gabriel, at the Oncology Center in Castries. I did that, and by the time I got to him, the tumor was 7 centimeters by 7 centimeters, and by then it was stage 3B. I never panicked. I said, look, I am going to fight it. I said, cancer, my body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. It doesn't belong to you. You have no right to be there, and I'm going to fight you, and I have to overcome. So my doctor and I sat, the oncologist, and we planned. We had 3 options, and together we decided what was the best solution. So I opted to have chemo, then a mastectomy, and chemo afterwards. So we started with chemo. I had 3, I began with 3 types of chemo. And in December, he told me I must have the surgery in December, midway between my treatments. So I had the surgery in December, and I was fortunate to get a very good doctor. And I must say the surgery has been successful. It is healing nicely. I had the surgery about 6 weeks ago. So 2 weeks ago, I resumed the chemo, and now I am only on Herceptin I had to do 12 more cycles after the surgery. I have taken one, so I have 11 more cycles. I take the chemo every 3 weeks, every 21 days. And I must admit that I am doing very well. I am confident. I have a lot of faith, and this is what has been working for me. I have a multitude of people praying for me. And I must tell you, prayers is essential. Prayers, faith, confidence. You need all this to survive cancer. I have never worried. I have never cried. Even when I was informed that I had cancer, the doctor told me, brace yourself. Are you prepared? I said, yes. He said, you're diagnosed with cancer. I said, no problem, just cut the breast. I took it casually. And up to now, I'm very casually and optimistic. I am confident I am going to survive the cancer. I will not die. I have to live to testify and to be a living testimony.
Thank
Any
you, teacher.
questions?
Thank you, teacher Julie. I guess you're actually stronger than me.
Oh yes, and there's
Henry,
something else. I must tell you that I changed my diet completely. I used to have a sweet tooth. I was a lover of cakes and macaroni cheese. I had no problem changing my diet. I moved to a plant-based diet. I avoided sugar, and I adjusted to drinking my tea, minimizing my salt. I stopped eating meats, particularly red meat. So I am on a fish-based diet, plants, fruits. I eat a lot of fruits, and I must say we have to avoid, we have to eat natural fruits, organic fruits. Okay? So I eat a lot of vegetables, fruits, and fish. And it has been working for me miraculously.
all right.
Over to you, Ms. Wilson.
Teacher Julie,
It looks like you're breaking, I can tell you. It looks like you're breaking, Miss Wilson.
diagnose the cost incurred can be very, very high. Guide us as it relates to the cost, as it relates to the cost of chemotherapy surgery so far for you.
Oh, yeah. So far, well, the present drug I'm taking, Herceptin, 16 cycles every 21 days is $64,000. And prior to this, the other drugs I used to pay 2,200. So the surgery and everything, so far I have spent about 60 something thousand dollars. And after I have completed my my procedure, it should come to a little over $100,000. So it is very, very costly.
Okay, thank you, Teacher Julie.
You're welcome.
Let me just say it. How has it been as it relates to the support? I know you're a strong individual. I mean, how has it been as it relates to the support from family members, loved ones, and so on, since you have been diagnosed?
Oh yes, my daughter has been very supportive, Miss Wilson as well. I have a large number of friends, particularly church members. The women's ministry at Solid Rock, they are very, very supportive. Every Monday, they pray for me. Before each cycle, they come here the day before and they pray with me. And the day of the day that I'm having the chemotherapy, they pray for the whole day. Now, on the day that I had the surgery, they asked me to inform them when I was going into theater, and they went into prayers. I was so confident. The morning I woke up, it was like a child was traveling for the first time on an aircraft. And when I walked into the theater, I was singing Walking Up the King's Highway. I was so excited. The next morning when I woke up, I was strong. I felt I could run a marathon. So I've been very, very strong. My friends are supportive. I get lots of encouragement. My doctors, my oncologist, Dr. Owen Gabriel, and my surgeon, Dr. Rohan Edward. They have been very supportive. They have been
Um,
very, very supportive.
Julie, how did you feel after your first few bouts of chemo? The day of chemo and the following days after, how was the feeling for you?
All right. After the chemo, I was very, very sick. I used to be drowsy. Although I was taking medication, I used to be drowsy. I used to be weak. I was always sleeping. And I was spent about a week and a half in bed, resting. I can do very little. My legs were weak. It gets you very, very sick. You feel
So
nauseous with
you
a
feeling the
headache. And
cook and everything.
after after the first 3 months, my hair dropped.
Okay.
So
Yes.
as you can see, my hair started growing back.
We have the same hairstyle. Mine just have a little bit more color than yours.
Okay. Now a little longer than yours just now because it's growing. Mhm.
Yeah, I know teacher Julie actually really, really loved her long hair, and it was quite getting used to not having the long hair. But you look very, very pretty with the short hair, teacher Julie. I must say that's the in thing nowadays.
Thank you.
So
Initially, I was lacking confidence when my hair, I was feeling embarrassed. So I used to put my wig. But when someone told me, "Oh, you look so African," I said, "Okay, wig, goodbye."
I agree. You're an African queen. Yeah. So, Julie, is there anything else you'd like to say to the public? Anything else you'd like to share with us?
Okay. First of all, I want to encourage everyone to do their medicals because I had a hysterectomy 30 something years ago. I used to do my pap smear test along with my breast examination. And since I had the hysterectomy, I stopped doing the pap smear. So I ignored the spat. So I would encourage every woman in particular to do the pap smear regularly. And the men, of course, you have to look after your health. We know men are not too concerned about health. When it comes to doctor, they object to this. But I want to encourage everyone to ensure that they do their medicals. Always do their breast examinations and all other examinations. Anytime they feel a little lump, they don't feel well, see a doctor. And to avoid cancer and to prevent it, I would say your diet is essential. Don't be like me. Try to avoid sugar, minimize sugar and salt in your diet, and ensure that you are on a plant-based diet. Avoid imported foods. Try to avoid foods with saturated fats, foods with preservatives, all these chemicals, and even we should not introduce our children to these imported stuff because we are breeding them. We are breeding cancer to be students, children, sorry. So I am saying that when our children go to school, let us give them fruits. Give them fruits in their lunch bag, make juice for them, use the fruits around to give them local juice to avoid all these soft drinks and the sugary foods. And I must tell them they have to continue praying. Prayer is essential. Pray, pray, pray for good health.
Thank you so very much, Teacher Julie. Let me just say that I met Teacher Julie a few years back, and Teacher Julie has been a great support in my life as well as my daughter's life for many years. He has seen us through our tough times when it comes to education wise, especially with my daughter. She was our backbone, and today I am so happy that she's there to provide that testimony to the general public. And we just want other persons to take heed, and other persons, if you have a family member or a loved one that is diagnosed with cancer, don't hesitate to provide support and love. It makes them really, really stronger. All right. So, Teacher Julie, once again, thank you so very much. I know it was
Can I suggest something? One
yes.
other thing. Most persons after the mastectomy, they stop seeing the doctor. But they have to realize that there may be little tissues with cells, with cancer cells, and you have to continue your chemo afterwards to ensure that every cancer cell is destroyed in your body. Okay, and afterwards, every 6 months, every year, you continue following up with your oncologist to ensure that you're safe, because the cancer can come back, and when it comes back very aggressively.
Thank you, Teacher Julie.
You're
So,
welcome.
Teacher Julie, you have a wonderful day.
Same
And
here.
I hope that all will be well for the rest of your chemo cycles.
Thank you.
And do take care.
Thank you very much. You have a blessed day.
Okay, you too, Teacher Julie. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye. Bye.
I just want to say that when I heard Teacher Julie was first diagnosed with breast cancer, it was very difficult for me, especially for someone in the health profession. As a health professional, I must admit I did not take it easy myself, because Teacher Julie had become a mother to me. But having that positive attitude towards everything, it made me start thinking, that I should be a little bit more supportive, more relaxed when I'm by her, because she had so much inner strength. And here am I thinking, how can we deal with that situation? And it was just, she had that thing about it. She will survive and she must survive. And she had that inner strength that we as loved ones and supporters did not have. And she built that strength in us, although she is diagnosed with breast cancer. And I just want to say that journey is not an easy journey. Emotional, financial, it's not an easy journey. And we're asking persons, please support your loved ones. So having said that, let me just, we're going to have another guest speaker on our show about 10:30. It's a little bit early. Yeah. I just want to give a few little statistics about the different types of cancers persons who have died with cancer for 2020. And I just want for persons to hear the statistics, and afterwards we'll go for a short break. With prostate cancer, 50 persons. For breast cancer, 18 persons. Lung cancer, 18 persons. Colon cancer, 16 persons. Cervical cancer, 14 persons. And cancer of the ovaries, 9 persons. So I just want you to get a little statistics. I know it's from 2020, but at least so many persons are dying with cancer. And some of the cancers, especially cancers of the cervix, if you do your pap smear, when it is required, early detection is key. And for prostate examination, that is why we're asking the men, come out, do your prostate exams. At 50 men, can you believe that? Already we have a shortage of men on island. So you could well imagine the struggle. Yeah? So having said that, I was waiting for a comment from Erlan, when I said that, but I didn't get a comment, but it's okay. Having said that, we will go in for a short break whilst we wait for our other guests.
Where we say good morning to you. Welcome inside another edition of the Traffic Mix. You know how we do. Destination 2 o'clock. Hey, my name is Erlan Zimforian, and of course, we're inside this beautiful, beautiful Tuesday morning.
Only Vibes Beats.
Apart from playing music that persons will dance to, love, enjoy, I love to be very informative. I like to inform the audience, as to what's happening around that. All right, what's trending, whether it's locally, internationally, regionally. People have to know what's happening. You understand? Certain things you might not know that's trending. Yeah, man, that's what we're here for. Keeping you guys in the loop, letting you know what's happening. All right. I consider myself to be versatile. You understand? I'm always trying to better myself one way or another.
I'm Genevieve Gonzague, and I've spent the past 2 years working the beat as a television news reporter at a national level. But my heart remained in Soufrière. Now, I'm bringing the spotlight to you in the Soufrière FM news package. Join me every weekday at 1 p.m. for news that matters to you. We're covering the Southwest region like never before. I'm Genevieve Gonzague, and these are your headlines.
My mommy protected me and my little nephew when she got vaccinated.
My doctor is protecting me. She's vaccinated.
My aunt protected me when she got vaccinated.
COVID-19 vaccines are available for people from the age of 12 years and older. Being vaccinated against the virus does not only protect you, it also makes our country safer for those who cannot receive the vaccine.
Vaccinate for you, for yours, for us.
The 7 a.m. news package, a breath of fresh air, a buzz in the morning. What better way to start off? Giving you details of what is happening, not just only in Soufrière, but beyond current affairs. You could be heading to work, children going to school, and I think definitely having this presented to you in the morning will definitely be a buzz to start off your day. Covering the Southwestern region like never before. I am Kabrina Epifan, and these are your headlines.
I go by the name of Miguel Basie. Stage name, Energy Buzz, radio name as well. What is different about my show is that it is full of energy, like my name says it all. Full of vibes. My show basically starts from 2 to 6 on a daily, Monday to Friday, Saturdays, weekly 2 to 6. It's called the Energy Drive. What it entails is like I like to introduce people to new music. I like to educate them on the artists as well. What's new, what's trending in the musical industry. Right now we're 12 years in the making, and we as a team look to get bigger and stronger. I've just been doing music my entire life. I don't know anything else but music. So I could say music saved my life as well. So tune in to Soufrière FM every single weekday from Monday to Friday with me, yours truly, Energy Buzz with the Energy Drive. You see, I'm so super excited. So this is the excitement that I want to share with you guys. So make sure you tune in to Soufrière FM 88.5 with yours truly, Energy Buzz, 2 to 6. From Monday to Friday, Saturdays it fluctuates. You can either catch me from 9 a.m. or from 1 p.m. Alright, so make sure, share the love.
And I do not know why. Every time I keep on laughing, Erlan makes me laugh every time. And laughter is therapy for the soul. It's what makes us happy, keeps us young. I must admit that.
I'll be honest, that's just the best makeup you can wear. That smile of yours. That smile of yours, it looks good on you.
Thank you very much, Erlan. Let me just say now we have another special guest. This individual has been very, very instrumental island-wide, and I will allow her to introduce herself. I must admit, when I first met Miss Philip, we met at a health fair, and I got the opportunity to meet the team and listen to them explain to different members at that health fair. And although I was in my section, but I took that opportunity as a way of learning a little bit more about different cancers and listen to persons that have had experience and listen to how they speak to the public out there. And that was very eye-opening to me, even as a health educator, because you go out there and it's an opportunity for you to disseminate information, educate people, but also for you to be educated as well. And I must admit, she and the team, I learned quite a bit. Even when I was seated quietly, I would listen, and it had such a great impact on me during a particular health fair. I know Miss never suspected that, but sometimes you make such a difference in person's life that you don't realize it. And not only as health professionals like ourselves, but the public out there. And I will allow Miss to introduce herself and tell us a little bit about herself.
Okay, so I am a 15-year breast cancer survivor. I was diagnosed with HER2 positive breast cancer, which is not a very common breast cancer. Only 2% of cancers are HER2 positive. Um, and I survived it. Also, if HER2 positive, you have a very high chance of reoccurrence. And I am still going strong after 15 years without a reoccurrence, which is amazing. I don't think I said my name. My name is Dorothy Phillip. I am the founder and president of Faces of Cancer in Lucia.
Okay, so Miss, tell us a little bit about the group and its objectives.
Okay, so when we first started off with Faces of Cancer St. Lucia, it was to offer people support, people going through cancer, offer them support in that sometimes, you're very weak when you're doing your chemotherapy. We would do whatever you need to be done for you. Like if you need your house clean, food bought, you need some soup, something to eat, you need to pick up your children, whatever the need was when you were going through your therapy, we would be there to assist. But since then, our mandates have changed because what we found out, although we set up to support people in that manner, the public, especially cancer patients, were not very knowledgeable about cancer. And in order to fight an enemy, you have to know all about your enemy if you're going to be successful. So we delved a little, we started going into education, and we started speaking to people about the different types of cancers, what to look out for, the symptoms, and stuff that they needed to know. We found with a lot of survivors, they knew they were surviving, but they didn't know the way forward after they were done with their treatment. So we actually came in, we were giving talks on lymphedema and intimacy and sexual activity after cancer, and a lot of topics that people would consider was taboo. We went into them to educate the public about cancer. So we did that, and after a while, as I go along, I realize a lot of different things about St. Lucia and the people with cancer in St. Lucia. And the other thing we realized is that a lot of patients were coming forward with stage 4 cancer, which is the end stage of cancer. And you really do not want to be diagnosed at a stage 4. So we started doing health fairs all around St. Lucia where we screen for cancer. We do breast, prostate, and cervical cancer screening in order to catch people with these diseases at a much earlier stage to give them a better chance of survival. So from then on, every year we've been doing health fairs throughout the year. It's very expensive for us. Although it's a free service to the public, we have to pay for all the testing. So it's a very expensive venture for us. And although we would like to do many more health fairs in different areas, the finances just not there to assist us in doing all the health fairs we would love to do. So for now, we've been doing 6, sometimes 8 in a year. We would love to reach a stage where we could do 12 in a year. But one of the challenges is as we go out and more people hear about us and what we do, more people come out to the health fair. So that means we need more money. And it's a challenge to get people to donate. A lot of times people see we selling tickets for different things, we asking to donate monies, and they would just turn the other side of the road, or go about their merry way, say they can't afford and stuff like that, not realizing that we are there to help even them if they become victims to cancer. So one of the things we like to do, and we always do when we give talks, is to encourage people to donate to Faces of Cancer. The money do not go towards us, the members of Faces of Cancer. Nobody gets paid at Faces of Cancer. It's all voluntary. The monies that we get throughout the year goes right back into helping people with cancer. So it's a good cause. One of the other things we do, we realize that when people come to the OKEU clinic, they're not fed. And so you have people coming there as early as 7 o'clock in the morning and leaving at 1 o'clock, and they are not fed. So we decided to start a soup kitchen where on a Tuesday we serve everybody at the clinic with soup and crackers. This too have expanded because since what happened is that the oncology and mental wellness now share a space. So since they're sharing the space, we cannot say we're giving you because you have cancer and we're not giving you because you have mental illness. So we now are faced with feeding more people than we anticipated because we feed both the mental wellness and the oncology. So it's a challenge for us. We continually asking people to donate. We're asking um, the businesses to help out because no one group in St. Lucia can do it alone. No one group has the money and the resources it takes to battle cancer. We do know that whatever we do is a small amount compared to the full cost of what you're going to need. When we do have finances, we do help out with tests, going for your chemotherapy, sending you overseas for tests that cannot be done in St. Lucia, for radiation, but that's only when we have the finances. You may well imagine how the finances are hard to come by, and we must put aside for our health fares because to us, that's one of the most important things, catching the cancer at an early stage. So whatever surplus is left after we put aside our budget for health fares, then we see if we can help people with other costs that they might need along the way.
So, Miss, how do you donate to Faces of Cancer? In speaking to you, how do you donate to Faces of Cancer?
Okay, so you can donate time and you can donate money. If you are donating money, you can donate by check or through our bank accounts. You'd have to call the office. We'll give you the bank account information and you can donate directly to our bank account.
Okay. Um. Also, if you're diagnosed with cancer and you feel that you need the support, how do you access that support through Faces of Cancer?
Okay, so we do have our offices at Tapia. You can call to make an appointment, or if you're in the area and you want to walk in, we also accommodate walk-ins, and we will give you the support we need. We also give wellness support. So in that if you're feeling overwhelmed, we are there for you. I am a trained patient navigator certified with the Caribbean Cancer Research Initiative. And we also have Dr. Marie Cassell, who's also another trained patient navigator with the CCRI. And we're there to help the patients with any hurdles that they may come across with that is too much for them. So in that if somebody wants an appointment and they're giving them a runaround, the appointment date they give them is far down the line, they're stressed, they don't know what to do. If you come to us, we'll work it out for you. If it is in some cases, people come to us, they just do not have the money. We call up people and get discounts for them. So there's a lot we do as patient navigators to make it easier for the patient. If the patient does not want to be treated in St. Lucia but wants to go overseas, we will help in that regard. We'll do the research for you, we'll tell you where to go, we will help you set up an apartment, your scheduling out of St. Lucia. All of that we do, and it's all free of charge. Patient navigation services only in St. Lucia is free of charge. This is a paid profession, and in any other island, you would have to pay for your patient navigation. But we do it for St. Lucians for free.
Oh, thank you, Miss. I never knew that. Honestly, that's new information to me. I must admit. I mean, I come across cancer patients all the time that want to go overseas, but they have nowhere to go and live, and so on. Now that I've heard that, maybe I can really direct them to Faces of Cancer. I know it has been, sometimes it can be very worrisome to some persons, especially if they do not have the support. I am really glad that you said all of that about Faces of Cancer, and I hope the public out there is listening and they're willing to provide the support, like you said, not only in money but time. And like you said also, I mean, if you support financially, you never know when you might be in the same situation and you just might need the support. Because a while ago we had a patient that is diagnosed with cancer, and in speaking about the amount of money that has been spent, you will know that's not money that is readily available. And so the support is so important to cancer patients. And so, Miss, is there any um examples you would like to give out to the public about any cancer patient that might be going through um, um, that kind of hurdle, being diagnosed with cancer, and how Faces of Cancer have supported a particular patient and help them see through that challenge in life?
Okay, so there was one patient in particular. She was diagnosed with stage four, I think it was. Stage three cervical cancer, and she also had issues with her blood in that she needed a lot of blood transfusions, and her blood was A positive, which was not readily available in St. Lucia. So she was never able to get the amount of blood she needed. So we decided, we had a talk with her, and we told her the better thing for her was to go out of St. Lucia. So she got her visa, and we navigated her to the US. In the US, I was her proxy in that her doctor had direct contact with me. So I could further explain to her everything that was going on with her. And when she had reached a stage where she was going down, we had a talk, me, her doctor, and herself, and we decided that it was time for her to come back home if she really wanted to die, if she didn't want to die in the US. And Faces of Cancer made all the arrangements to get her back home to her daughter's house, where she stayed for 11 days before she passed.
Okay. So that is a level of support that is being given to persons within the community, well, island wide. I'm so happy that Faces of Cancer could have done such a an action, taken such action to help that person come back home to be with their loved ones. Um, the other thing I want to ask is, do you think that the health fairs, how do you think that the health fairs really assist in early prevention and detection? Do you think that it is something um, that is very good, or do you think that more can be done apart from the health fairs to so that more persons can come out and do their screening, Miss?
Yeah, I think a lot more can be done. When we do our health fairs, we try to have doctors on board because we want the patient to feel comfortable, and we want it to be a kind of a one-stop shop in that you come in, you do your test. If you have a complaint, you tell the doctor right there and then, and we take it from there. But it's becoming increasingly difficult to get doctors to assist at the health fairs. It's always the same set of doctors willing to assist, and that puts a strain on them because most times the doctors have to be on call. So that is one of the hurdles we have to cross, trying to figure out a way where we can get more doctors to volunteer their time and come and assist at these health fairs. But all in all, the health fairs are very successful. Sometimes we find as much as 20 to 30% of the people we see that have issues, especially the men. So last year we got a few surprises in that we got 3 young people in their 20s with breast cancer. um, 2 of them has passed. One is still battling because, as you know, the younger you are, the more it's difficult for you with breast cancer. Because most times the people in their 20s, the type of breast cancer they have is triple negative, which is it's very difficult to survive it at that young age, and there's a very high percentage of reoccurrence with these cancers. Also, they are very aggressive. So we were able to get these people only last year. So if we continue doing our testing and raising the awareness, you could well imagine the amount of other people that might be out there that we can kind of help. We're trying to get them in before it is too late, before they see that big lump in their breast. We want to get them in when there's no lump in the breast. If we can get you in at that stage, at least we know, you have a fighting chance. But when you come in and it's too late, in St. Lucia, we do not have the resources to help you. If you're at a stage 4 and going, you would need to go out of St. Lucia and come back in to assist yourself with that cancer. So it becomes very expensive at the later stage of cancer. So we're really trying to see how many people we can get screened so that if there's a problem, we can catch it early and not too late.
Thank you, Miss. Lastly, is there any message you want to leave out there for the public, especially for our young men and young women?
Okay. I want to tell people cancer is not something you have to be afraid of. There's treatment for cancer. But the key is to get screened so you can get it earlier. Men have to be aware of all types of cancer, not only prostate cancer. Last year, we found a man with breast cancer. So it's out there. You have to be careful and be screened for all the different screenings they have for cancer. Don't think of you don't have cancer in your family. It doesn't work that way. Only 5% of cancers are hereditary. You don't have to have cancer in your family to get cancer. So the better thing is to go out there and get screened. Don't be afraid to get screened. Treat it like you have a cold. Go out, you're not feeling well, you go to the doctor. You don't even have to wait to go to get screened because cancer is asymptomatic. It will not show you the symptoms in the early stages. Every year you have to do your mammogram, you do your mammogram. Every 5 years you have to do your colonoscopy, get it done. Every 3 years you have to do your pap smear, get it done. So we need to get people aware and do their screening on time so that we can catch if there's any abnormality early enough to have it resolved.
Thank you so very much, Miss. I must say thank you again because I know you're on your way and safe journey to your destination. And I'm so happy that you could take that time to educate the public about Faces of Cancer, what the organization is all about. I too did not know certain things about this organization, and I'm so happy that you brought it out. Again, thank you so very much and safe journey, Miss.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
You're welcome anytime.
All right, then. Bye.
Bye-bye. Let me say, Faces of Cancer has been one of the organizations that really supports persons with cancer, and we must understand that, like Miss Phillips said, there is only a certain level of support that they can provide, and you heard all the services that they provide. So persons out there willing to provide support to Faces of Cancer, both in monetary compensation as well as time, feel free to contact Faces of Cancer and provide that level of support. Today it might be somebody else, tomorrow it can be you battling with cancer. Cancer is not written on anybody's face, and we're hoping that we as the public can provide support to these organizations, not only Faces of Cancer, but Cancer Society, and there are so many other groups and organizations that are out there that we can support. Many of us just live our lives, a carefree life, and spend money on things that are unnecessary. But always remember, these organizations are out there to help out the public. And some of us, only when we're actually diagnosed, that's when we actually make an effort to know about these organizations. So take some time. If you have any contributions to give out, don't forget Faces of Cancer, and you can always call or go to their office at Tapion, or you can look them up on Facebook. I know many persons have Facebook. You can look them up on Facebook.
We have 5 minutes left. I just want to ask you a quick question. Have you heard about childhood cancer?
Yes. So actually, on the 22nd, we will be speaking about childhood cancer. 22nd is 2 Mondays from now, Erlan.
Well, I don't have a calendar in front of it. It should be, right?
Romanas, help us there. On the 20th. On the 20th, we will be speaking about childhood cancer.
Well, I'll let you know something. February 15th is International Childhood Cancer Day.
So that is why we're having it on the 20th. The reason why we're having childhood cancer is because we know that many people don't talk about childhood cancer, and it is something that is in our community, and it's just that many people don't know about it. So that is why we're going to have a program on childhood cancer on the 20th. Hopefully Fawn will be there presenting, as well as we're trying to get a guest speaker for childhood cancer.
Because I think it's the second leading cause of death in children and adolescents.
In the world, but not in St. Lucia.
Well, in the region, well, not in St. Lucia, but different parts of the world. Well,
different parts of the world.
Over in the diaspora.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I was saying just recently. I remember when the military vessel ship came, you saw so many young children that were actually sick. And you're wondering what is wrong with these kids. I mean, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, and and looking at these things, and you can see the frustration on the parents' face and so on. That was such an eye-opener to us. So people, please, again, we're asking you to take all necessary precautions, start living a healthy life, your lifestyle. Be mindful of how you live your lifestyle. Eat properly. I mean, drink a lot of water. We've been preaching it. Do not stay around persons that smoke, because secondhand smoking can also kill. I mean, cigarettes and so on. So we're asking you to take all necessary precautions. And the alcohol consumption. Yes, Erlan, I spoke about secondhand smoking. Go ahead.
No, well, I don't smoke, period, so I wouldn't know. Anyways, moving along. I'm just on the Power Caribbean. And just reading something, the WHO Global Breast Cancer Initiative is based in 3 pillars. And I know a lot of persons still going through that. Of course, aiming to avoid 2.5 million premature deaths worldwide due to breast cancer. All right, between 2020 to 2040. Imagine that. Persons already been proactive. Hey, at number 1, health promotions for early detection. At number 2, timely diagnosis. And at number 3, comprehensive breast cancer management. And we're just talking about cancer generally, yeah?
Yeah, we're talking about cancer
so
generally.
I just highlighted this one.
And like Miss Philip was saying, don't forget, I mean, in men, it's not always about prostate cancer. You have colon cancer. There are so many different types of lung cancer. There are so many different types of cancers that people, die from and so on, or are diagnosed. So you have to take the necessary precautions.
And Miss Wilson, and I liked when the lady said it is preventable. Cancer is preventable.
Yes, it is.
All right.
So it all boils down to our lifestyle.
Yes.
All right.
What we consume. All right. Of course, again, like you mentioned, alcohol, tobacco use. Yes.
So let me say thank you to all our listeners. I must admit it was a very great show and an eye-opener to me also. I mean, now when I am thinking of going and shop online, now I can say, well, that money I might as well donate it
to a charity.
I mean, things that are not needed, let me spend my money wisely. And you too can do the same. I know everybody keep on saying things are hard, but I believe St. Lucians still have a lot of spending power. So again, let me say thank you to all our listeners and the public out there, persons at M&C. Thank you, all our listeners at Conries.
You have a lot of listeners.
And so on.
10 o'clock, you have a lot of listeners. I let you do that.
Really?
A lot of listeners.
So, Shoppers Choice. Let me just say thank you so very much for listening to us, our market vendors, our caregivers,
financial institutions,
all our financial institutions.
You have bus drivers, minibus drivers, shuttle drivers locked on. You have a lot of people, I tell you.
Thank you, Erlan. And thank you so very much. But we're hoping that next time a lot of persons can call into our program. I mean, have comments or ask questions, all the persons on Facebook or online, feel free, don't hesitate. If you have any topics that you really want to know about, any condition, medical condition, you can always request it and we can have a specialist online to come and speak about it. So again, we're hoping that this year persons can call in and have special requests. Erland, again, thank you so very much for assisting us, as well as Romanus, who's always there with us and making sure that everything goes smoothly. So thank you, and I wish everybody wonderful and stay safe.
Yeah, boy, you have plenty of weeks already in your head, boy.
Boy, I can tell you.
Anyways, folks, it's 11 o'clock in Super Solution and Eastern Caribbean. It's your photo. Here's your photo of the day. If it drains you, it's not for you. Always remember that. All right. So again, I might just use that for myself. Yeah, who knows? Again, I don't know who needs to hear this, but do acknowledge it. If it drains you, it's not for you. Always remember that. Okay? You're wrong for that. Let's go.
A wholesome and relationally healthy family is an integral foundation for a strong community and nation. The many social ills that plague our island need to be comprehensively addressed to stem the tide of depravity and bring about resilience